going live. We're gonna scratch a little monkey butt. Right? Little rubby dubby. Little rubby dubby bubby. Alright. Excellent. Do you think? Come on. There it is. Alright. Hello everybody. Welcome. It's Wednesday. And it was a pinch slower news day than yesterday. At least as far as I can tell. There's a shooter fired bullets into an ICE detention facility in Dallas and appears to have killed three detainees, which is weird because the FBI is claiming that he's anti-ICE. If you're anti-ICE, that means you are pro-detainee. So why did the shooter specifically shoot the people he's supposedly trying to defend? I don't know. But their claim that he's anti-ICE is due to the fact that they found bullet casings in what they call a strip clip, whatever they call those things, for a gun that no one ever uses. It says anti-ICE and permanent marker on it, which it's just my feeling. But the FBI is, I believe, just fabricating evidence for stuff at this point and doing a really bad job at it. What was that quote from Andor? It was something like, what was that quote? Where she says that, says that they don't have to tell good lies anymore because they're that powerful. They don't tell lies anymore because they're that powerful. It may bite them in the butt in the Luigi Magione case. 114-page filing, basically asking for dismissal of everything, went to the court this week, and it appears that the judge is like, yeah, I'm giving this some weight, because the federal prosecutors have done a really poor job following the local court rules and not basically they've just sowed a bunch of prejudice out there so that a fair trial may not be able to happen. It's basically violating court orders. On top of the fact that there was no chain of custody, warrants weren't collected properly for evidence, Magione wasn't read his rights, etc., that their incompetence may result in him being released, basically dismissed with prejudice, so he can't be tried again. So I think it's going to happen for quite a few of these guys, that they might not be able to try them because of the fuck-ups by the FBI and local law enforcement and stuff. So that's, interesting. Anything else happening, Monkey? Yeah, Mariners won again last night, so woo, hooray. All right. I don't know. If you guys will tell me stuff, I'll just get to the chat. How about that? We'll just Bing.
Houston, we have a problem.
Okay. Turn it off. Off. All right. Well, we've got Bill Coin Super Chat right off the bat. Bill Coin says they are trying to rehire the government people they fired, and Trump speaks at the UN. American is screwed. Yeah. Not only that, they're being forced. Well, they're being forced to rehire people they laid off, and the courts, and they're discovering that there's a bunch of people that they laid off that they need to do their jobs, and that if they aren't around to do their jobs, then a lot of stuff doesn't get done. So, yeah. GDC is first. Nice. Brandon Wells says, sup. Never knows sup, BBBY. I didn't get my shares yesterday, so 23rd wasn't the date. And Lyco Crypto, last. Oh, we were last for a moment. John Y, almost there. Kelly Reed, happy birthday, W. So, who you think had the weirdest week, Jimmy Kimmel or the CEO of Tylenol? The CEO of Tylenol is going to be very, very, very wealthy off of this. Oh my goodness. The federal government's going to have to pay out. I mean, you and me are going to pay out a whole bunch of money for all of this. It's pretty ridiculous. Speaking of federal government paying out things, that's the other thing in the show description. So we bailed out Argentina, and Argentina immediately signed a soybean deal with China. So if you haven't paid attention, not a single soybean, which is has gone from the United States to China since the tariffs went into effect, effectively wiping out tens of billions of dollars in income for farmers all across the Midwest who grow soybeans specifically for the Chinese market. Donald Trump pissed off Brazil by arbitrarily slapping a tariff on Brazil, and Brazil signed a giant deal with Argentina. There's a giant deal with China to sell soybeans, and now Argentina is selling soybeans as well, and we're going to have to spend a whole bunch of taxpayer dollars to bail out the farmers because the socialists are no longer buying our soybeans, so we have to become socialist ourselves. Good job. Good job, Merca. Good job. Bex. Hey, you said happy birthday. I hear talk about BBBY, but it's the overstock version. Will holders of the OG BBBY that has had our shares parked ever see anything? I cannot guarantee a thing. I think so. I think that there's going to be a buyer for the Knolls who's going to do a reverse merger, and then we get shares in whoever is absorbing that entity. I would have hoped to have been announced forever ago, but it hasn't, and we still just sit and wait and sit and wait and sit and wait. If anyone's ever going to use those Knolls, they got to give us our shares back. They can't use those Knolls without giving us our shares back. So we just got to sit and wait and be impatient and do 700 more shows and stare off into space and slap the dog butt. Ooh, can't slap hard because this pinky can't take too many G-forces at the moment. Kelly Reed, all you executed for another once in a lifetime crash. Excited? I think it meant excited. Are you excited for once in a lifetime crash? They keep telling us can't get enough of the winnings. Houston, your crystal ball predicts apes getting out from this crash and recovery. Yes. If you have the negative beta stock, when all the other stock goes, this stuff's going to rise because all those other stocks are the collateral for their short positions on the negative beta stock. So we should see the squeezes happen with all the little micro caps they've been shorting, and that's what we'll see. It'll be interesting to see what happens when the government shutdown comes, because it appears that we're about to have one, coinciding with the fact that the quarter is ending, construction will slow down. Everyone's going to have to realize that their pocketbooks are a lot smaller than we thought they were going to be, and then what? Yeah, an article today came out saying that they expect the Christmas seasonal hiring to be the smallest it's been since 2009, and 2009 was the peak of the global financial crisis. So, not boding well going into the fall. I guess we're technically in the fall now, aren't we? Polestar says, yo. Oh, speaking of Polestar, I forgot to turn on the live chat and then go to multi-stream over there on that side. Okay, so anyone happens over on the Twitch side, I can now see your chats. Pulsar, wow, the new Kirk conspiracy theories have dropped. They're amazing. I don't know if I've really paid attention to the new Kirk conspiracy theories. I know Candace Owens is claiming that the roommate's family has contacted them, and that, and what I couldn't tell from her little clip was if the roommate was out of his mind or if Robinson was out of his mind. But they just said it was like, one was like crazy and on drugs and all sorts of weird cars were coming to their house and whatnot. So I really can't trust anything Candace Owens says about anything because she's a freak. But, you know, Polestar, from which curses to second and third shooters, hidden hatch underneath where he was speaking from, it's going to be, if you speak badly versus ICE, straight to jail. ICE, you suck. Yeah, there's going to be conspiracy theories for everything. It's never something simple. It can never be just a guy points and shoots a gun. It can never be the terrorist took over an airplane, smashed into something. It has to be some convoluted magic, trap doors and witch curses and whatnot. But don't rule those Etsy witches out. Like, I am definitely not a woo-woo believer in things, but someone, was it Jezebel magazine, put a curse on Charlie Kirk and he died the next day. The same time, somebody paid an Etsy witch to take the curse off the Mariners, and the Mariners have won 16 of the last 17. So, maybe I've been wrong about witchcraft my entire life, and the Etsy witches are in fact the real deal, and not just some people faking they're witches and collecting money. Seems like a pretty good job. Yeah, totally. The curse is gone. I did a whole thing, and you're good. Thanks for the $1,000. Cheers, Taylor, Houston. Do you have an all-time favorite awesome geologic wonder? If so, can you show and tell us, please? All-time favorite geologic wonder. Ooh. I'm not going to include astrobleams. Astrobleams are my favorite. Those are craters created by asteroids, because they're not, while they are something that happens in the Earth, it's from outside the Earth that does it. So it'd be something that's from inside the Earth. Inside the Earth, or the Earth itself doing it. Favorite geologic wonder. I like magma. Magma's my favorite. I think... Ooh. Yeah, we're thinking igneous. I'm thinking... Probably... Well... I'm going to go with... maybe not that. It's like trying to pick a favorite child. Like, part of me wants to do just opals being created out of bog water and volcanic ash. That stuff's really cool. But also, I really do like crystal formation as a result of like heated rock, like in situ heated rocks, like magma coming up and causing a crystalline layer where it makes contact with the original rock, the older rock above it. That's how like the Mother Lode gold country was formed in California. Was this giant granite pluton came up and all the gold precipitated out of the host rock material and then made this like band of gold where the contact layer was. Then you just have super volcanoes in general. Like, they're all bitching. What can it be, Monkey? What can be our favorite geologic feature? You've seen a lot of geologic features. What's your favorite, huh? What one did you like the most? Man, there's just so many. You get the Scablands are pretty cool. That's from the Lake Missoula floods during the ice ages that just like ravaged through eastern Washington, eastern Oregon, in like 100-mile-an-hour water that's a mile deep, carrying boulders from 1,000 miles away. There's too many cool things. You got the Siberian traps, which are the gigantic, huge basalt lava flood basalts that basically pumped out so much CO2 in the atmosphere that it made the oceans full of carbonic acid and killed off 99% of all life on Earth. Those are pretty gnarly. Man, the Krakatoa eruption, 1883. That one's awesome. Tsunami wiped out at least 35,000 people and went around the world 3 times, and the sound was heard around the world 3 times from the explosion. Can you imagine being like some Norwegian farmer in the middle of North Dakota in 1883, just hear like, boom. You're like, what the hell was that? And then 14 hours later, you hear, boom. Again, you're like, what the hell was that? And then 14 hours after that, you hear a third one, goes, boom. Because the sound wave went around the Earth so many times. That's pretty awesome. I gave you a few there. That'll have to do for now. Because I got a super chat from Stephanie L. Hi. So I'm an urban farmer, and that really doesn't know much about stocks. How long do you suggest one holding the GME warrants before exercising? I only have 11 of them unless BBYQ converts to GME. Then I'll have 650 or so. I hope that we get a big week sometime before October of next year where the stock flies and it's at least 100% higher than the strike price. So we get stock at 65 bucks, 67, 80 bucks, somewhere in there, so that I would have the opportunity to sell a chunk of my warrants for cash and exercise the rest of them for shares. That's what I'd hope for. I wouldn't suggest holding all the way through October of next year, just because it's better to exercise if the stock gets above $32 than it is to just let them expire into nothing, because the market for those warrants will be pretty spicy because all the shorts are going to have to buy them up. So you're going to have theta decay. The closer you get to October, the value will likely go down if it's out of the money. So let's hope that at some point Ryan actually takes his foot off the brake and lets this thing go whee, so that we can, have our win. That's what we need there, Stephanie. So yeah, and let's hope that BBY gets issued. Dead bass. Speak badly. Straight to jail. Turn off escalator. Straight to jail. Do nothing. Straight to jail. Mispronounce aceta, Tylenol. Believe it or not, straight to jail. First day productions. I don't think they have the right shooter. The FBI is really bad at lying. Kid fired, disassembled, left the screwdriver, dumped the rifle, fully assembled, jumped off roof, no gun. Yeah, that's the thing. Is that also it's a World War gun with a plastic stock. World War I gun with a plastic stock that didn't exist. So not really sure what the FBI is hoping to achieve with all these lies. The gun doesn't disassemble. The stock itself is this long, and the barrel is this long. So that's bigger than the backpack that he was supposedly using to carry the gun. So why wasn't parts of the gun sticking out? And it takes, 5 minutes to disassemble that gun? And if you already had that gun disassembled and you reassemble it, it's almost impossible to have the eyepiece tuned so you can make a shot like that. So no, I believe if he had a gun, that wasn't the gun. It would have to be something that you can see in the movies where literally it disassembles and fits into a suitcase and assembles again and it's all lined up and ready to go. It definitely was not that. So yeah, there's something that's just off, that doesn't work in a logical sense from any of that. Also, First Day Productions. Why did the FBI release only the kid running across the roof? Why not show him taking the shot, since it would have been in that video? They showed Kirk bleeding, but didn't show the shot. Yeah, I don't understand either. Apparently, there's video footage, CCTV footage, looking at the roof of that building, and they have not released it at all. So, you'd think that I got to assemble this gun. You take out your Allen wrench and take that piece off, and the Allen wrench, and then it's in there. It just takes a long time. It wouldn't be an Allen wrench at that point. It would be a screwdriver, right? Because it was a World War I gun, and they weren't using Allen wrench hex keys at that point. So I don't know, man. And no one's going to take that shot and then spend the next 5 minutes disassembling a gun, right? Unless he goes click, clack, click, and you just throw it in a bag and gone. So it's very weird. MS, top 10th. Were you top 10th? It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Nope. You're 13th. Okay. Oh, shoot. Come on. Why is this acting so poorly? Sorry, my scrolling is not scrolling very well. Sir Barther, Wubba lubba dub dub. Louis throwing some stickers out there. First Night Productions, heavy CIA and NSA presidents at Utah State among the staff. By the way, the CIA invented the term conspiracy theory after the JFK assassination. This isn't a conspiracy. Okay. Someone named Butt Cheeks says, yo. Excellent, Butt Cheeks. Luminous Reflections, happy birthday, Houston. Shout out to Monkey Butt and Fat Cat. What was the outcome of the BBYQ versus RC from a couple weeks ago? Didn't he get postponed again? The ruling was that DK Butterfly cannot ask for access to the emails and communications between Ryan Cohen and his friends who served on the board. Basically like, look, dude, you already lost this thing once, so forget it. Which leads me to believe there's going to be some sort of settlement at some point for that. So that's what we're waiting for. Turkish, happy birthday, HW. I hear a newly recognized Palestinian state may ask for £2 trillion from UK, plus 55% of their GDP as reparations. UK has no money to pay for their own NHS. I mean, they can ask for it, but I don't think they're going to get anything, personally. They might get, I don't know, Will and Kate go and like kiss some babies or something. They might get that. So, Butt Cheeks also says, and this was a deleted comment, I think Houston's going to be banned for violating terms of service. Non-stop conspiracy theories of Kirk Shooter being MAGA, and now new nonsense about the shooter harmful misinformation. Butt Cheeks, go fuck yourself. Jesus, what a whiny little bitch you are. Just, ouch, you're just a delicate little flower. Oh, Houston's going to get banned from terms of service. Oh, no. Oh, eat a dick. Jesus. You guys are the softest baby shit. Absolutely. You're just offended by everything. But then you try to pretend like you're not. You're like, I'm a hardened man. I'm a man. I'm all manly. Brah! And then someone says something innocuous you don't like, and all of a sudden you're just like, burp, 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 burp. And you want your mommy, and you want big bad YouTube to come and take away my show because you can't handle somebody speaking something out against you. Do you know what headline came out the other day? What headline came out the other day about the Kirk shooter? From the FBI and other investigators is that they could find no link between the shooter and any leftist organization, group, or membership. Meaning the dude wasn't a leftist. But his screen name on Steam was Donald Trump. So, you got that going for him. You dumbass. All right, Turkish. How will they pay for Hamas, Hammam structures? I don't even know what that means. Yamon says, bye, loser, because Butt Cheeks is gone. Juice Mammy, nice name, though. MS, Houston. 2 people RSVP'd to a reception, then said only. Now I must pay in the full, and they still have not answered if they are actually coming. Rage for me. MS? Oh, you're hosting a reception. 2 people RSVP'd, never paid, and it's $90 a plate. Small claims court. Small claims court is great for petty things like that. Just be like, you owe me $180 plus all the legal fees and time I'm here. And the court goes, granted. So, yeah, small claims court. Why not? It's designed for petty shit like that. So, be petty. I have no problem with that. Crap. Sorry. This whole thing just crapped out. Relaunch. No. I want that. Reload. Yes. Sorry. This whole thing just vanished on me. And okay, that's the end of Butt Cheeks. There's MS. Gabriel Lockwood. Parentheses. Jacob. Happy birthday, Jason. Just blew $300 breaking packs. It's so streamlined. Went ahead and banked 2 of the cards and up $100. This is addicting. So you're playing the ye old GME slot machines. All right. Well, I'm glad you're up $100 on that. GDC. There's a lot of hype around the Rio Grande rivalry, New Mexico versus New Mexico State college football game. Who you got, Lobos or Aggies? I got to say that the only time I ever paid attention to New Mexico football in any way, shape, or form was when, what was it, about 10 years ago, that woman was the first D1 football player. She was a place kicker for, I think it was the Lobos. I might have that wrong. But that's it. I don't know anything else about New Mexico football, and I apologize. It's all the information I have about. I know they play football. I know they have football teams, and there you go. But I like the name Lobo more than Aggie, so I'll go with Lobos. Michael Rice, you should fix your screen. It's been off ever since you got the new computer. My screen? Which screen? What screen? Off? Which one? Like one of these screens? How would you know these guys are off? Which one? What am I fixing? You gotta be much more specific there, Michael Rice. I will wait for your commands. Chris Taylor, anyone win at Rapture? Not that I know of. I did read about a lady who sold her house on Facebook Marketplace, and the woman who bought it won't let her back into her house because she didn't get raptured. I mean, if you're gonna sell a house, you got to put like some sort of rapture caveat in there. Like, if I don't get raptured, I get my house back, etc. But I guess that would be sort of doubting the Holy Spirit. If you doubt the Holy Spirit, it's like the only crime, only sin that actually can condemn you to hell without ever being able to repent and come back. So, you just kind of got to go all in, I guess, if you are determined the rapture is going to happen. And it didn't. So, I mean, people predicting the rapture are as successful as folks predicting MOAS and a BBBY payday. So we got that in common, at least. So we might as well just call MOAS the rapture at this point because of how wrong we've been for so long. Oops, super chat coming in. Who's this from? It's a Dick Doink, three-legged dog fund. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, did I just lean back? Oh, you just heard me lean back, didn't you? And then I'm reaching up. Oh, and I got a big bag. Yes, I do. Oh, is this a big bag for Monkey Butt? I know you just ate like 10 million treats in town today, but I always have the technology for more Monkey Butt treats. You there? Yeah? Alright. Because Big Doug Doink got in there for you. So thank the Big Doug Doink. And thank Michael Mystery for the mountains of dog treats we have. Yeah, finish that. We want this one too? How if I put it on your butt? Can you get it if I put it on your butt? Can you get it? It's right there. Oh, that's how you do it. Okay. Thank you, Dick Doug Doink. Anon. Oh, sorry, not Anon. Aaron. Also, I got a county job, Houston. Going to hold it on with my life. Going to hold it. I think you mean going to hold on to it with my life. Okay. Good. Get that. Enjoy the pension. Huh. Zio God, do with nub. Rapture is delayed until Epstein files are released. King Ding Dong. Also, I thought that the rapture can't happen until the Jews rebuild the third temple, right? You got to tear down the mosque that's there, Dome of the Rock. Got to put the new temple at that site, and then the rapture can happen. Seems like a lot of people are forgetting the steps involved with how the apocalypse is supposed to go about. So, yeah. King Ding Dong. Someone pay the witches to help old BBYQ, please. Yeah, we need some Etsy witches to do the BBYQ stuff for us. Good idea, King Ding Dong. J-Dog, grrr. Channel 4 still not playing Kimmel Live, just extended news interviews instead. Yeah, our Channel 4 Como here in Seattle didn't play Jimmy Kimmel because they're owned by Sinclair. But it appears as though the advertisers that advertise on Sinclair are getting hit really hard with people here in the Northwest being like, we're not going to use your product if you ever advertise on Sinclair again, so you better not advertise on Sinclair. So I'm wondering what type of outcome we're going to see. There's also, I mean, I mentioned it as like an idea, but it also seems to be kind of gaining strength that Disney may stop sending them shows. And if they don't have shows to watch, then they don't make money. And then they can't afford their affiliation fees. And maybe some weird law stuff happens. But J-Dog, Mariners could go all the way. The way the Mariners are playing right now, yes, absolutely. They have not had an offense this good since probably 2002, 2003, and they got a better pitching staff on top of it. So, yeah, it's about time that we saw some like synchronicity. Is that the term I'm going for? I don't know. MD Govich, natural bridges, slot caves, hoodoos. I mean, they're all really cool, and they're beautiful. Like beauty wise, slot canyons, hoodoos, which are like the big old rock stacks that pop up. They're gorgeous. They're absolutely gorgeous. I like sea caves. You know, the arches that happen because you get ocean waves crashing in and making a point and then breaking through, so you get like a rock with a natural bridge image that falls down, so it becomes a rock stack. They're all really cool. I mean, there's so much cool stuff out there. Even like how Puget Sound was formed, you don't see it, but the process itself was really cool because these glaciers came down from Canada. Well, you know, map time. Let's bring up the old Google Earth because it helps if I could just talk about Google Earth, right? With the map being there. Okay, where are we? We are, we're in Africa. We're gonna go here, the Puget Sound. So you'll notice here, Puget Sound. I'm gonna take the roads off here because they're get out of the way. Roads go away. Bink. Okay, so we got Puget Sound here. The Puget Sound is a fjord. It is a fjord. It was carved by glaciers, and what happened was the glaciers came down, and at some point they blocked off the Puget Sound. And you have a lot of river systems that drain into Puget Sound from all different directions. So this gigantic, deep freshwater lake formed on the backside or the south side of this glacier that cut across, and where the glacier scraped, pushed a big old wall of like gravel and stuff in front of it. But then because all this water's coming out of the rivers, dumped a whole bunch of fine silt that became known as the Lawton clay. And so you get this mixture of like sand, gravel, and clay at different layers depending on where the glacier was at certain times. And then as the glacier retreated, it left these giant glacial erratics, these huge stones that got carried down from Canada on the ice, and then the glacier melted and plunk, these huge rocks are left behind. So among those glacial erratics, the most interesting one is one that is actually a bench at Safeway here on Bainbridge Island. Okay, so put that north. Get that's what, the high school. That's the high school. That's the Safeway. Come on, give me some pixels, man. Give me some pixels. That's this whole thing. This is the one I need right there. I need the pixels in this guy right here to form. And do I have to do the whole turn it off and turn it back on again thing? I might have to. Un momento, por favor. Okay, there we go. All right. Don't show again. I don't care about that. All right, go back in here. We're gonna go back to the Safeway at Bainbridge Island. So when they were building this complex, this is the Safeway complex right here. In 1989, 1990, they don't put an angle. There we go. Okay, they dug up this rock. And for some reason, as big as a glacial erratic, for some reason they tested it for its age, and it turns out it's the oldest rock in all of Washington. And come on, dude. Come on. You can see it right there. This rock right here. Let's see if we can get a street view. Give me a person. I'm going to show you the oldest rock in all of Washington. Okay, that's the bank. There it is, right there. See that rock? You wouldn't know it. There's no plaque marking it or anything like that. But this rock right here, this rock right there is officially the oldest dated rock in Washington. It's over 450 million years old. There's no part of Washington itself that was created that long ago. There are no dinosaur bones naturally found here. The only one dinosaur bone ever found was also brought down by the glaciers out of northern Canada. This rock came from northern British Columbia, from a much, much, much older chunk of rock, and it just sits there without any fanfare whatsoever. It's just an old rock. People walk by and they have no idea what it means. It's pretty remarkable. So if you come to Bainbridge Island and you want to see the oldest rock in Washington, it's a little piece of granite from northern Canada that was brought down by the glaciers as an erratic. And it got brought here by that. So there you go. No one knows it. No one pays attention to it. I bet I'm the only person on Bainbridge who ever thinks about this rock. I read about it in 1990 in the newspaper when they like, hey, isn't this interesting? This rock that was dug out of this when they're building the Safeway complex. And I don't think another person has ever thought about it since. But I think about it all the time. That guy right there. So, yeah. You can learn about volleyball, and you're in town back in October. And yeah, we got all sorts of stuff going on that fence, don't we? Okay. Anywho. Son of a bitch, turn on my... all right. Okay, scroll down. Gotta turn that guy off. I'll take a sip of water. Okay. All right. From the oldest rock in Washington to the oldest bit on Houston, we have a problem. Chris Taylor likes Scablands as well. Scablands are awesome. Andrew Dell, Houston. I have seen IBKR and Fidelity UK will give cash, not warrants. Hargreaves Lockdown will give warrants. Sounds like you've got a week to transfer to Hargreaves Lansdowne. So, get on it. Luminous Reflections, RC views his shareholders like Orangeman views MAGA supporters with disdain. I hope not. I hope he actually does want to create shareholder value for the shareholders, because that's all we want. That's all we're asking is value for the shareholders. So, Turkish, making a face. Basat Baman, making a face. Gabriel Lockwood, also making a face. Why is everyone making faces all of a sudden? Oh, I missed super chat from Corporate Walnut. I love Houston, Google Earth time. Yay. And Voices of Josh. Because of bankruptcy, I cannot touch my GME, but I'm hopeful I get to keep it. Anyways, I'll be doing some geology classes soon with some scholars. Excellent. No, bankruptcy sucks. It does. And it really sucks. So hopefully you get in the clear soon, you go through all the stuff, and you can be a human being again. So, yeah. Oh, Dig Dug Doink. I missed one. I missed another Dig Dug Doink. Waiting for the Federation to violate the Prime Directive and show us the error of our ways. Wouldn't that be nice? And to get a replicator, because 3D printers are pretty cool and all, but they take a long time. And sometimes I want to be able to replicate the perfect steak without having to do anything to get it. But yeah, how did I miss all the super chats all of a sudden? I was talking. That's why I missed them. Okay. I did the King Ding Dong one. I did J-Dog. I did Chris Taylor. Did Andrew Dell. Did Luminous Reflection. Turkish, that one. Okay, Corporate Walnut. How should Elon power his Mars colony? Would nuclear work up there? You're probably going to have to use nuclear or a huge solar array. So the way nuclear batteries work that you put into probes that go deep into space, like the ones that are in Voyager 1 and 2 and stuff, is you bake into basically a chunk of clay a whole bunch of radioactive material. So make a clay pot essentially of radioactive material, and the chunks of radioactive material close enough to each other, they give each other reactions where the neutrons hit and cause chain reactions, and it stays warm. And then you sort of have like a Stirling motor, basically taking that warmth and turning it into energy. And the half-life on those things is about, I think, 80 or 90 years, somewhere in between. And they should work for probably 2 or 3 half-lives before the energy gets so low that you can't use it anymore. So you can expect Voyager 1 or 2 to go very far. And the reason why they do it that way is because of accidents during launch. is that you don't want to have like fissile material, like a bunch of goo of like hard reactive material that's supposed to use like work in a steam plant or something. You don't want that to explode in, say, the launch of Challenger, etc., and then spread that material over a huge area and basically make a giant dirty bomb. So you bake it into the clay, so there's an explosion. It's maintained pretty well, and you can find chunks of it rather than atomized pieces of it all around. And that's and those nuclear batteries are reserved for very special launches, and you have to get special permitting for it and whatnot. You can't just like launch any old satellite with nuclear material on it. You have to have a very specific purpose for it and why, like, you know, long term, heading out to deep space, not gonna have much sunlight, etc. So that's how they do that. I would doubt that they would allow fissilable material to be launched for Elon, especially in Starship that blows up fucking constantly. You don't want to rain that down everywhere. So my guess is they're going to have to go for the clay versions, and a lot of them, or just hope for the best and using solar panels, just launching a freakish number of solar panels to Mars. So, yeah, that's what they're going to have to do. Problem is, you have to figure out a way to keep the solar panels clear of dust, because dust likes to rain down everywhere, and the dust is super toxic to humans. So you're going to have machines to do it all to keep the dust off everything, and it's going to require water to do that. So you're going to need water, which is pretty much only found largely in a permafrost deep underneath or in the ice caps, which are very far away. So anyway, anyone's going to Mars is going to die anyway, so that's what you got going for you. And Salin, laugh my ass off, you tell him, Houston. Yeah. Gabriel Lockwood, I would watch a channel called Houston Rants. just pissing me off, being little dandies. Just Mammy, Tiki Hawaiian shirt, dude, lights up MAGA snowflake, butt cheeks, film at 11. Iggy Lamont says New Mexico football is terrible. The Lobos are prone to choking. Well, there you go. So Iggy lives in New Mexico, so he knows more than I do. So I'd take his pillow fight of the week. Lobos hobos. Call them Nobos here. Cough, cough, Miami Hurricanes. Well, Miami Hurricanes are not playing in the rivalry game between New Mexico and New Mexico State. Dig to doink, if my shares come back, it will feel like the Rapture. Turkish, coming back and getting new paid for them. Lone Wolf, I made a YouTube video of me poking a Trump voodoo doll. Would I be in trouble? Oh, if I made. No. Because they'd have to prove that you poking the Trump voodoo doll caused injury. Right? And they can't prove that. So, I saw that there's a push in Congress to get Charlie Kirk put onto the quarter. I'll tell you what. If Charlie Kirk is put on the quarter, I will make a jig for the drill press, and every quarter I get, I'll just put a little hole in the neck, and then I'll go back into distribution, because that would be kind of funny. And Gabriel Lockwood, I'm sure somebody already asked about warrants and people that might be stuck in Robinhood or Webull. Any hope for them? As far as I've read, both Robinhood and Webull will allow you to have the warrants. I think Webull will actually allow you to trade them. I don't think Robinhood allows you to trade them. I'll see the update on that. But I believe, the screen we see. Michael Rice, 499 Super Chat, the screen we see. I don't think that's the only screen I have there. You're talking about that? That's the framed picture of Scott Adams calling me an idiot. That from the week that I destroyed his entire career. That's not a screen. That's a framed picture. Ugh. From February 24th, 2023. Oh, it is dusty though. Should clean the dust off of that. Oh my goodness. It's Scott Adams replying to the Houston Wade. Idiot. Good times. Good times. He only got 15 likes for that one. Yeah. So that's the screen. If that's what you're talking about. Was it? Jews Mammy hole in Kirk Quarter, butt cheeks clutching his pearls. Indeed. Yes. So that says idiot. Okay. Hazel A, Rapture people aren't the brightest. No. You think they could just blow away in the wind because of how empty-headed they are. And Hazel A, maybe the Rapture is just taking their minds and not their bodies. Oh. So it's like left just like brain stems going through the rotations, motions. Striker 747, have you ever read the Bible? Cover to cover. There's Striker 747. I read cover to cover. Matter of fact, I have... Where'd I put my religions books? Right there. So I've got the Apocrypha. I've got all sorts of books here. Here is... My sister got me... When she was very religious, she got me a monogrammed, leather-bound Bible. Houston Curry Wade there. And what I did was I read it cover to cover. And I highlighted things that in one color that I agreed with, and things in another color that I thought were like, here we go. That's a little pink, 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 pink. I know I got the other colors in here. Okay. I had multiple colors. I think the pink was things I don't agree with. I have annotations here. In the begat section, like there's annotations where I wrote like, why are they having sons at a rate of 20-1 to women? Because they're listing all the children they had, right? And for some reason, boys are 20-1 in there. And like asking questions like, why Isaac is named Israel and he's still Isaac, that Jacob is then called Israel and he is Israel. Things like that. Went through and I had things that I highlighted that I agreed with, stuff that I highlighted that I didn't agree with, I thought was more reprehensible, and things that I thought were physically impossible and denied the physics community. But I went through the entire Bible. I did this when I was 15. So yeah, I've read the entire thing. I've also read all the Apocrypha that's ever been found, all 600 plus books of the Apocrypha that have been found, meaning the infancy Gospels, the Gospels of Mary Magdalene, all the books that were tossed at the Councils of Trent and Nicaea. I've read the Bhagavad Gita. I've read the Book of Mormon. I've read the most of the Talmud. Talmud's huge. I've not finished reading all of it. I've read the Quran. I've read it all, man. Read it all. So maybe someday I'll print Houston's annotated version of the Bible with what the fuck questions added in there. But yeah. So bing. And Aaron. So you're saying if they reinstate BBY old shares, I can get my 50 shares back with warrants? You would get shares in an acquiring company. You wouldn't get your old shares back. Those are gone. Those are gone and will never return. You will receive shares in the acquiring company if there is a merger acquisition for the Knowles. That's what you'd get. So, another super chat coming in here. Dig to Doink, you say read the Bible. Have you read the Bible on weed? No, I have not. I've not done anything on weed because I'm a square. CC2SA4IB. UHW, happy birthday. What is your favorite sci-fi universe? Ooh. Man, you guys are asking. Favorite sci-fi universe? Red Dwarf. Well, I doubt Red Dwarf was my favorite sci-fi show, period, and possibly my favorite sitcom ever. The Red Dwarf universe. It is absolutely insane. Outside of the quirkiness of the Red Dwarf universe, if I go for more like serious sci-fi and not pulling your leg sci-fi, I really like the new version, or the newer, it's 20 years old now, the newer version of Battlestar Galactica. I mean, you can't go wrong with the lore behind Star Trek. Star Trek probably has the deepest lore of any sci-fi universe that's in like movie TV form. Star Wars lore has its moments, and there's other parts where you're like, what the fuck? But again, like we'll talk about Andor. Andor is one of the greatest sci-fis ever made, and does such a marvelous job sort of painting a picture of how the fascist empire was created, that it's poetry. It's absolutely amazing. What other ones would I rank up there? We got other silly ones. You got your A Hitchhiker's Guide ones. I was, even though Robert Heinlein seemed like kind of a see you next Tuesday type character, his earlier books painted really great pictures of sort of like, what if this thing happened? How would the world be? And so you read books of his in which one was it the Friday book that had the stone ship devices? It was basically small pocket-sized cold fusion, and they refused to patent it because if they did, people would discover how it worked and they reverse engineer it. Instead, they just create these devices that if you cracked them open, they would obfuscate everything and you couldn't figure it out. And they had like a corner of the market. So a reason why, like, you know, Coca-Cola doesn't reveal the recipe, and KFC doesn't reveal their 11 herbs and spices, etc. Because if they told everyone, then they could actually copy it. But I don't know. I'll go with that. Dig to Doink, Fjord. And John Y, I love living out there. Well, I love living out here too. And Dig to Doink also says hip to be square. It's hip to be square. Right, monkey? Where was I? I did that one. Oh, crap. Julio's throwing one out here. Green chat. Landslide election. Arizona has GOP scrambling. Release the Epstein files. Oh, that's right. Special election in Arizona resulted in another Democrat going to the House, and now there are enough signatures to release all the Epstein files through the petition. So, yeah. I saw a tweet today from a Republican member of Congress saying that the Epstein files being released will be really, really, really bad for Republicans. So, I guess there's that. So, yeah. Thank you for reminding me of that one there, Julio. Igamon, can we get the Rock a plaque if we get paid? I think the town should put a plaque there anyway, regardless. Yeah. I thought about that rock. I thought it was the weirdest trip hazard. It's an interesting rock. It just sits right there, and you're like, yeah, there's a rock. And people sit on it and wait for the bus. They have no idea that they're sitting on the oldest rock in Washington. Maybe someday someone will dig up another rock at a construction site that'll be older, but until then, that rock right there is the oldest rock in Washington. Dick Doing says science is stimulating. And Voices of Joshua says, hi, Iggy. I changed from Josh Pet Pals. Oh, Josh Pet Pal Tennessee is now Voice of Joshua because you sold your dog business. So I guess you're not Pet Pals Tennessee anymore. You're not in Tennessee anymore. You are in Georgia. So there you go. Voices of Joshua. I now have to realize that is Pet Pals Tennessee right there. Rocks rock. Fred Jones says maggots are snowflakes watching butt cheeks get booted. Aaron, Houston, some good news. Spain just announced about 4 hours ago that they are sending Navy ships to protect the flotilla heading to Gaza that was attacked by drones earlier this week. That could make things very spicy if actual Navy ships from NATO country, because if they get attacked, Article 5? Oops. So yeah, that's actually probably pretty smart, diplomatically speaking. And Aaron also says Italy is sending one naval frigate to protect the convoy also. Interesting. The pithiness. Oh, sorry, not the pithiness. The filthiness. Video of Hellfire missile bouncing off UAP debunked as missile popping a weather balloon. I saw that video. They were doing some math for like parallax and showing that it wasn't traveling as fast as I thought it was. Just looked like it was over the water, because as the jet's going by, the background of the water makes it look like it's going a lot faster than it is. I like to see like the entire video of it going, because we don't see it actually like crash ever or anything else. It just keeps going. So I like to see that. Cheers, Mammy. Hole in Kirk quarter, butt cheeks, clutches, pearls. Oh yeah. MS Houston, because you think about rocks is part of why your show rocks. Indeed, because I got rocks on the brain at all time. So you basically are awesome. Well, thank you, Josh. Bex, how about that sculpture of Epstein and Trump hand in hand in the mall in DC? I haven't checked the news on that today. Oh yeah, I saw someone put that up. They're like frolicking. Yeah. All Stargates were the best sci-fi. I never watched the Stargate TV show, so I really can't. I know lots of people who liked it a lot. I never watched it, so I probably should go back and watch them all, huh? I never watched Babylon 5 either. There's like a big cult following of Babylon 5. I don't know. It's only so much time in the day. You can only do so much, right? And then just making new content at all times. It's really hard to. How do you spend your time consuming as much information as you can? Entertainment at the same time. Addicted Doink, I like Alienation sometimes. I never saw the Alienation TV show. The movie was... I actually went back and I watched the movie because it came out in '89 when I was living in Japan. And we went to a double feature. It was Major League, which I wanted to see because it's a baseball movie. And then Alienation started after it. And so we sit down and we watch Major League, and I'm like, oh, I love baseball. And then Alienation starts, and it's the scene where there's like an alien on like speed or PCP or something, and this cop like shoots the alien, and it just like falls down, it comes back up, and charges, and shoots the alien again, it comes down, and eventually like the alien's like in a gunfight, and these bullets are like, the cop's like hiding behind a car, and the big bullets go through the car, it gets closer, and then finally like rips them apart. And that's when my dad was like, yoink, we're leaving this film. So I never got to see Alienation past that part for like 30 years. And finally I just watched the movie itself, and I was like, oh, that's what it was. As an adult now, I'm like, violence, whatever. But yeah, it's an interesting story. It's kind of similar to, was it District 9? And that the aliens come and they're just kind of trash. Like, universe's rednecks are like, we need help. Burp, burp, burp. And I don't know, they just like take these lower dregs of society and so on. Kind of like that. It's interesting to watch. King Ding Dong, Houston. You know what I don't like is when people get a VPN and then Google FMHY. I don't like it or support it. Foopy Mappy Happy Yappy? For my Hello Yellow? I don't know what that is. Now I'm scared to even Google that because I don't know what that even means. But I think the files are bad for all powerful people, but I'm done. Oh, yeah. For the Epstein files, yeah, I get rid of all of them. I don't care. If we're gonna eat the rich anyway, may as well let some fall ahead of time from the Epstein files. I'm okay with that. So, Digger Doink, the oldest rock is in my backyard. Haven't got the carbon dating back yet. Oh, okay. GDC. One of the worst tragedies of the modern world is how the 1996 movie The Rock gets completely lost in Google searches for Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Very underrated movie. Oh no, it's a fantastic movie. It's absolutely... Wasn't that Michael Bay's first big movie before he like went insane? The Rock movie. No, if I do The Rock movies, it gives me Dwayne Johnson. The Rock. There it is. All right. So IMDb. Give me the IMDb. I know it's a Jerry Bruckheimer production, right? Because everything's filmed. Yeah. Director Michael Bay. So it was Michael Bay not going absolutely insane with so let's see here, Michael Bay. What are your first big movies here? Known for... I don't want producer. I want director. Yes, previous. 63? A producer? No, I don't want producer, dude. I want director. Why'd you give me all the producer ones, you monster? Director. That's what I want. There we go. Okay. So, go back. Oh no, he's got a whole bunch of stuff from the 80s here. So he's got a couple music videos, music video, Bastard Pussycat, Neville Brothers, Donny Osmond, Chicago, Styx. Ooh, he's got a Playboy centerfold video that he did back in 1990 for Carrie Kendall. Music video. Oh, he did a Vanilla Ice music video. Music video. So all through the early 90s, music videos. You had Young MC, That's the Way Love Goes. Great White, Winger, Tina Turner, Lionel Richie, Wilson Phillips, Meatloaf. Oh my, I'll do anything for love. Music video, another Meatloaf. He did a whole bunch of Meatloaf ones. And he directed Bad Boys in 95. So Bad Boys was his first film. Huh. And then The Rock was his second. Okay. And then from that point forward, another music video, Aerosmith. Then he did Armageddon, which was terrible. He did Pearl Harbor, which was terrible. Music video. Bad Boys 2. Another Lionel Richie music video. The Island, which was terrible. Transformers, which actually was pretty good because that was produced by Steven Spielberg, and Steven Spielberg forced him not to go insane. And then Transformers Revenge of the Fallen, which was really bad. That's the one where they get into a fight at the Air and Space Museum. I think it's the Air and Space Museum in DC, and they're fighting inside of it, and they bust through a hangar wall, and all of a sudden they're in the Mojave Desert. So they transport it across the planet somehow. Continuity, terrible. A Victoria's Secret video. Another terrible Transformers movies. Pain and Gain, which is terrible. Another Transformers movie, terrible. 13 Hours, which was terrible. Transformers was terrible. Underground 6, which was mediocre. Not that great. Never watched The Hype. Never watched Ambulance. Another music video. And We Are Store, which never heard of. So, there's Michael Bay for you. All right. Well, what are you going to do? King Ding Dong, I definitely don't recommend Proton VPN. Okay. The only time I have VPN, I have the NordNet VPN. It was great because I was watching Mariners games with it, and all of a sudden all the nodes got blackballed by MLB TV, and I can't watch Mariners games through it anymore. But I already paid for it, so I'm stuck with it. The Expanse. The Expanse is a good universe as well. The Expanse is really good. MS Tucson Rocks released the files. Yeah, Tucson Rock Show is pretty amazing. GDC, your best losers always whine about their best. Winners go home and fuck the prom queen. Yeah. The Rock and Face Off, two of Cage's best. Face Off, Nicolas Cage and John Travolta acted their hearts out in Face Off. John Woo is a terrible director. He is... Every single one of his movies just is not good. Wind Talkers? Garbage. What was the one he made with Jean-Claude Van Damme that brought John Woo to the U.S.? Because he did his, shoot 'em up movies like Chow Yun-Fat in Hong Kong and stuff. And, there's that line in JCVD. Have you ever seen JCVD? Jean-Claude Van Damme, the movie. It came out in 2007. One of the best films I've ever seen in my entire life. Watch it. Do not watch a dubbed version. Watch the original, so that's got subtitles when he speaks French, etc. You will see acting out of Jean-Claude Van Damme you will never imagine that he was capable of. It is one of the most beautiful films. When I watched that movie, I thought about that film every day for weeks. I'd wake up just thinking about that movie. But there's a line in it about how like someone's telling Jean-Claude Van Damme he's been done dirty by Hollywood. And it kind of shows that he's like, he went from like the hottest action star in the world to suddenly being in all these B movies where they couldn't afford a good director and they couldn't afford proper other actors because his agent was getting him paid too much to be like the starring role in these B movies. And he just keeps telling his agent, he's like, I just want to be in a good movie. And his agent's like, no, buddy, because I need to get paid. And they have this whole fight. But he's back home in Belgium. And I don't want to give away the whole plot of the movie, but he's talking with this guy, and this guy is telling him like how he's been done dirty. And how he's like, John Woo wouldn't even have a career if it wasn't for you. If it wasn't for you, he'd still be back filming pigeons in Hong Kong, which is true. And I don't know. Watch JCVD. If you're going to watch any movie this week, watch JCVD. It is phenomenal. It should have won Academy Awards. And I say this like people like Jean-Claude Van Damme. It is one of the most thought-provoking films I've ever watched in my entire life. Period. And I can't even describe the movie to you. You just have to watch it. And he does this like 9-minute monologue while he's like tied to a chair, and it is incredible. Like tears will flow down your face. It is beautiful. JCVD, go watch it. Lone Wolf. What are you asking, Lone Wolf? I like how it tied to 007 James Bond. The Proton VPN? I don't know what's going on there. Farscape? I never watched Farscape either. And King Dong says Proton is the best VPN. FMHY is a digital collection of a bunch of links from around the internet, books, movies, you name it. Oh, okay. That's what you're saying. All right. Mike Rice, the screen's been shifted to the side. I still don't know what you're talking about. I'm so confused, Michael Rice. Screen shift to the side. Oh, are you talking about the little border on this guy here? Okay. One sec. If I go to calculator, no, that. So this one? No, that's overlay. Main cam. This guy. Ah, okay. So if I go like, whoop, whoop, okay, well, then I have to make that just a slightly bit bigger. No, that's too big. That? Or the overlay, which I think, nope, that's not what I want. Overlay. That thing? That one. This guy? No, that's not overlay. What are you? Webcam solo overlay. Yeah, this guy. That thing? Oh, that. Yeah, I guess that is. Oh, there we go. All right. So then now we need to move that over there. And I think, does this thing now need to move down? Nope, it's thin at the top. Okay. Is that what we're talking about? That thing? Yeah. You got it. Okay. That's what you're talking about. Duh. Okay. That being said, I'm out of here. I gotta go put together a puzzle with my mom. So you guys have a great night. I'll see you tomorrow for a regular show. And Monkey Butt, anything to add? No? Just a happy dog? Happy dog doing happy dog stuff? Word. All right, everybody. I'll catch you tomorrow. Maybe we'll do some more Google Earthing and talk more shit about Michael Bay and the time he made a good movie. All right. We'll just that one. All right. End it.